Katie?
I would like to nominate John Card for Chair of the Board of Finance. John has been chair for the past 2 years, and I think it's fair to say he has led us in a really strong way to gain consensus on the board, make sure that everybody is really in the know of everything that's before us. He's always prepared, and he leads with a big heart. And, you know, they say that great leadership usually starts with a willing heart, a positive attitude, and a desire to make a difference. And I think John has shown that as a leader of this board. So I nominate happily John Picard, and I'm not just doing it because he offered to keep me fine-free for the next 2 years. But because I know he's gonna do a great job.
Thank you, Katie, for the nomination. Is there a second for the nomination?
I'll second.
Discussion. Okay, discussion.
Here we go.
Discussion?
Everybody but you.
Anyone?
Any other nominations? The chair, a second time? For third? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's the motion carries. No such thing as alleviating the fund. Just want to be about that. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to the next 2 years. I'll say more words in the chair's comments. We also need to name a vice chair.
Nominate Gene as chair.
Second.
There's a nomination. They didn't even let me get the words.
Say something, say something. I have a quote.
Matt did nominate Gene as chair for vice chair. It was already seconded by Katie. So if anybody would like to say something, I will say a couple words. Say.
I am thrilled that Jean has been nominated for vice chair again. When John couldn't be here, she's really helped lead the board in a strong way, and I'm lucky enough to have gotten to work with her now on 2 different boards, and I'm happy to continue to learn from her and grow as a board member. So I hope you accept the nomination.
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice.
I do. I think Gene and I and the whole board of finance for the last few years have worked very well together doing this best for residents. I'm very happy that you will accept being vice chair. I'm sure there's not any other nominations. So looking forward to working together and appreciate all the time between you to the board and the town matters. So if there are no other nominations, second time. Third time, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention. No, just kidding. She's just kidding.
That motion carries. We need a motion to approve the minutes from the October 18th, 2023 meeting.
So
Motion made by Katie.
Second.
Second by John. Discussion for amendments. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Matt's going to abstain. That motion carries. We have the chair's comments. So just a couple of housekeeping things. I'm looking for, like I said earlier, work very well together about doing what's best for the residents of Madison. Doesn't mean we always agree, but we're always professional. And I love that about this board. And I know it will continue with our new members. So before I continue on, I'm going to say, Matt, since you are the newest member, John, I have to say a few words. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name's Matt Gordon. And I'm excited to be here ultimately. I've served the town so far on the Charter Review Commission and as part of the SPAC. It's been fantastic. And so I'm like looking forward to elevating that to having more value for the town. I've looked up to you guys, you know, for the work that's been done here, and just looking forward to learning the ropes from you all and generating value.
welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Welcome. So along those lines, and I know I talked to you both, everybody on the phone, but if there's a question, comment, email, call me. You have the numbers, and I'm not going to speak for Jean, but I know she feels the exact same way. If there's something, just feel free to contact us, and if any questions at all, happy to help. And we're glad to have you on board. Looking forward to working together. On another note, John, I didn't tell you this yet, but I'm going to tell you this now. We have a little policy in place. If you talk out of turn without raising your hand and being recognized by a chair, it is $5 fine. And we do that for a couple of reasons. One, to keep the meeting in order. Two, I don't want back and forth with the chief or something like that, but we can't hear. So last term, Justin was the record keeper. John, this term, you'll be the record keeper, right? So we do it in fun, but really the fines add up. We donate to our Madison's favorite charity, but that's just to keep things in order and have a couple of laughs. As Katie said, somehow waiving your fines. We know that never happens, right, Gene?
Never.
Never. But again, we're looking forward to working together, and if anything comes up, please don't hesitate to reach out. Finance member comments. Oh, actually, one more thing on the chair. We are going to appoint the CIP. I think we have to, but I really didn't reach out to the newer members. So if there's any liaisons that you're interested in, I know there's some that already have them. Please email me. We don't have to do that tonight. I do have to do the CIP, but just let me know. And if there's something that you're interested in, let me know. We'll do our best to make that happen.
Are there, if I recognize, don't have a cash up. Okay.
Our salary's up for the year. Then we go right to the debit card.
All right, yeah.
Gordon, $5.
Is there anything that's not covered yet, especially with President Fillmore, things like that? Is there anything that's not covered?
It's a good question.
Yes.
So Katie did answer yes. I'm sure there's things that are, so we'll send a list of what's covered. Doesn't mean people can't move. And I'm sure with Fillmore leaving and Justin not here, they love to volunteer for things. One way or the other. So we'll get back to you with that, Matt. Yes, Katie.
I just want to clarify in the list that was in our packet, the library board, they meet now on the second Monday of the month. That's why Fillmore couldn't, continue on that board. So, just as you're thinking about where you'd like to volunteer, that is now the second Monday.
Thank you. That's right. Wait, Fillmore been doing that. Then he ended up moving out down. First, go ahead, Katie.
And the other thing there are two things missing from this list, Stacy, the, new school building committee and the academy building committee. New school, I'm the liaison for that for Board of Finance, but there's nobody currently on academy.
And the liaisons are probably will just share and get back to us until we understand what's going on. So they are important. If you can't make some, it happens. Don't.
We're not voting.
Correct. But we do appreciate the information that comes on. But I don't want you to feel that if you, I can't make this meeting, that I shouldn't do it. It's not the case. I'll be quiet now. 5 minutes, member comments. John?
Well, actually, I just wanted to welcome the new people and to congratulate you, Jean.
Thank you.
It's great power couple. Right here.
Wow.
I don't like it.
Hey, John,
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Katie, you want to?
Good.
Katie's been talking all along. Yeah. Going forward, I'll just say any final comments. We have our first selectman here, Peggy Lyons. Peggy?
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to all the newly elected members. So welcome. They do run a much tighter ship on this board than we do the board of selectmen, so it's talk a lot. So I'll try to be brief. Also, congratulations to the chair and vice chair. Few things just want to highlight. We just completed our public hearing for senior tax relief, so the board is going to be taking that up at our November 27th meeting. We had only 2 attendees online. We had a great session last week at the senior center and had a number of people attend and ask good questions, but pretty much I think reception has been positive, so that hopefully will get finalized and approved and go into effect in February. Also the strategic plan, we had a very well attended public information session. I think we got some good feedback. Our board is going to continue to work on that probably in the next meeting or two with a final plan to adopt it by the end of December. So encourage board members, if you want to take a look at it and send comments, please do, because there's still an opportunity to do that. And then just the third thing is we have been able to hire a replacement, not a replacement, I should say, but somebody to take over for Bill McMinn, a new facilities director. So, and he is coming from the town of Stonington, and he will be joining us January 2nd, but that's going to be a very important role. And the good thing, we were able to overlap the two for 6 months. So Bill will be here till July 4th, and then, so they'll be working as a team, so there'll be a good transition. But as you get forward, that's a critical role, especially with everything going on in town. So we do have a really solid, experienced person coming in, and we're excited he's agreed to take the position. So that's kind of update for now.
Thank you. Any questions for the first one?
Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Condolences.
No questions. We have public information session. Anybody from the public would like to speak? Name and address.
Good evening, I'm Keith Luckenbach. I represent the Scranton Memorial Library. Just want to let this board know that there has been a fairly major transition since the end of June. There's a new president that happens to be me. And there is a new treasurer, and there is currently an assistant director who has manned the job. I know Tim Kellogg, who is the assistant director, is watching on Zoom. Hi, Tim. Just want to let you know that we three are very much looking forward to meeting with you and working with you as the 24-25 fiscal year budget is created and discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith, for your input. Anybody else in the public would like to speak?
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm Tim Kellogg. I'm the library director. Sorry you can't see me. I just wanted to echo Keith's comments and introduce myself prior to the start of the budget process for the upcoming fiscal year, because I'll be working with you all on that from the library side of things. So I just wanted to say hello.
Thank you. Anybody else? For the second time, anybody else from the public? No. Public information session is now closed. New business, discuss and take action to approve the 2024 meeting schedule. So that was handed out, I believe, the last meeting or the before that, Stacey? I know it's in the packet too. The last meeting.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Matt, if you got a chance to look at it.
I do have a couple of tweaks to it. Let me know if I can see now.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if we go through to the May meeting, just a typo, it's Wednesday, May 15th versus May 14th. And then before we go to the highlighted all the way down at the bottom, Wednesday, December 18th. We usually, because of the holidays, do the week before. So the question is, do we want to do it the second week in December for that one? And then, yes.
Summer 11th as opposed to the 18th. Yeah.
And then going back into the middle, June 19th is a holiday, so do we want to change that to the 12th or the 26th?
June.
19th is a holiday.
It's a holiday for us.
Yeah, so what's the other options?
The 12th or the 26th?
No, that's July. So
Oh, June, oh,
okay.
I circled the 12th.
Okay.
Earlier, before school gets
I
out.
my only, the 12th could be graduations and things.
It's not, it's set the date. for graduation.
Other people's graduation.
There's other schools. There's other schools. You're right.
But I'm good with this one. It's possible that somebody has a child at 8th grade and maybe graduate. They may not graduate either. Okay, so we have those changes. So what I'd like to do is make a motion to accept as amended. Do you have more, Stacy?
Just one, February 14th is one of the meetings, as long as you're okay with that.
Your wife asked.
Yeah. This one's for you, John. February 14th
Is the 19th and 20th.
The board of selectmen, we're raising the 14th, right, some resistance on our
Right.
board.
So who's the romantics on the board?
You're all okay with
Because
it?
Peg's okay with it, I'm okay with it, so I don't know.
John's gonna bring us chocolate and flowers.
So school vacation is the 19th and 20th, which is the Monday and Tuesday. So the third Wednesday is February 21st.
We're good.
You can leave it at the 14th?
Yeah.
It's very strong.
Want to change? We'll change.
The 14th or the 21st, is that
Change
right?
it something to future thing too.
But that is school, the 19th and 20th,
20th
or
is school.
schools
I
are.
would leave it at the 14th.
Okay, yeah. So we'll leave that at the 14th, Wednesday, May
15th is a revised date. And then the 12th of
June
June,
12th.
yep, okay. And then December, we'll do,
The 11th.
the 11th. Okay, if you're all good with that, then good.
So I would like a motion to approve the 2024 meeting schedule as changed or as amended. Matt, motion is made, any second?
I'll second that.
Second, John, Katie, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. All right, we have discussed and take action to approve the fiscal 24-25 budget workshop schedule. I do remember going through this also.
These are. That was why the board of selectmen had you here. It's the, it's a presentation from the Board of Education as well.
Yeah, there are some conflicts or just revisions to the descriptions, but we wanted to give you all a chance to look at the dates, let us know, and then hopefully at the next meeting, we could just vote on it, if that's okay.
The only day that I remember possible being in DC is April 16th. And I'd be in DC at 15, 16, 7.
Okay.
Just the
Just the public hearing.
but it's yours.
So
So we'll look at it and.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you don't mind, we'll just fine tune it. If anybody else has a conflict, just email me and we'll revise it and send it out for the next.
Just go through the schedule and see if there's any conflicts that we can. All right, so discuss and take action for the 28 board days on assignments. And I think what I prefer to do is put that, table that, like, back to the rest of the board members. See what they're interested, again, I'll try to accommodate as much as I can. So discuss and take action to appoint 2 board members to the CIPs. I know we have to do that because I believe the CIP is meeting very soon, very soon. So I do have 2 board members in mind. One to my left and one to my right, who served on me before, but
The other power couple.
the other power, correct. So as long as they are good with that, they've been on it, they have the newer board members they want, they can go to some of the meetings and get acclimated with it. So I would like to appoint Katie Stein and Gene Fitzgerald to the CIP committee. Sure.
Well,
I'll second.
we don't, he just
Guys, I
appoints,
point,
right?
but Katie-
Yeah, you don't just appoint, he appoints.
Okay,
Yes, that's powerful.
what's going on here?
I don't know, it's.
Yeah, and discuss and take action to appoint a public member to the CIP, was it Laura?
Laura down.
Laura
Does
Downs.
she want to do it again?
I spoke with her today, just to ask if she would like to do it again. And, she said she very much would like to, so I told her she would, next steps would be to hear from you. She's great.
I don't think we need a motion, I'll just
Point.
appoint Laura Downs to
Okay.
as a public member of the CIP committee. Fiscal 25 budget. Okay, so we have discuss and take action or approval request from the police department with funds from the CIP program for fiscal 25 to fiscal 24 for the replacement of 4 police vehicles pending the board of selectmen approval. I'd like this in a motion, in a second, we can discuss it. Motion, maybe the second. Second by Gene, discussion. I know Chief Drum's here. Chief, you might want to introduce yourself, I'm sure everybody knows you, but.
Good everybody here, good evening, everybody. Thank you. I'd like permission to the approval to be part of the placement. Or phase 1 of the frontline cars from July of 2024, 25 to currently this period of time. I'm starting to get some pretty high bills for repairs. One, the quote is 8,000 to repair Isabel, we get $151. $100, and the second one now they're talking about almost 6,000. I prefer not to do that. Folks that have been on the board of finance see that I run them. I try to get as many miles out of them as I can. When I remove them from frontline service, I use them for SRO, I use them for construction, I don't put frontline cars, it's efficient with the exception of the electric Mustang. So I'd like to do is I move them up. There's also a couple of other, external factors such as, I guess, there's gonna be a car crunch coming soon towards the summer. I understand that there's major recalls on the Ford products, police cruisers. I've also been informed that towers, although they're holding for us, are going to be limited, they're going to increase in price. So that obviously affects other agencies within the town. So I'm asking that I replacement, carry them through the same period of time would have if I replaced them in July. Most of the money is there in that account.
So request, obviously, it's in the CIP for fiscal 25, we're just moving them up to 24, the money's there. More for new board members, we have questions for the chief?
Jack, just a quick question. So these cars that you're moving up, should we be reevaluating the rest of the cars? If we have to start moving them up, should we reevaluate it to put it on a better schedule?
If I go to the history of it, I probably agree. When I arrived in 2010, I used to buy 7, and there was less officers then. I used to purchase 7 patrol cars all at once, and then the following year would be administrative car, whatever. So every 3 years, I'd be replacing 7 frontline cars. So what I did, because of what I did in the state police fleet, I said, some of the cars I'm going to run until they're no longer safe, because I can't, doesn't make any sense to trade them in for $1,200 when I can get a year and a half out of them. So we've done that. We've done that since 2010 and kind of snowballed. Look at the cars we're replacing. Those are 2017 and 18. So in COVID kind of gave us a boost in some respect. One of the good things come out of COVID was that you didn't have a lot of miles put on the cars because the calls for service was reduced. So that helped us also. So replacing cars are basically in their 4th, 5th year right now. So people ask, how can I run a car with 100-something miles? The SRO program, that's fine. It's doable.
Right.
For construction, a car sitting on the site all day, it works. I'm never going to put an unsafe car out there. Right, so to answer the question, the cars that I can no longer invest in, I've sold those on municipal bid.
Okay.
That's something we started this year. When we're ramping up Ford purchase, I had the Ford dealers come out, they looked at the cars, and so it'll give you $5 grand with 4 cars. I'm like, no. I put on municipal bid, and as you know, more than $24,000 plus the 50. I have that Escape on municipal bid now, and up to about $4,000. This is the one that won an $8,000 pair on. So, and what I'll probably do is 2 of these, the 92K, and probably the one that's for some reason the 119 has had 0 problems as far as, but it's part of that phase. I'm going to put that with the SROs. So right now I'm sharing a construction car. If you know, if you have kids in school, we have 3 cars that are assigned to schools.
So you're comfortable with the rest of the plan then?
Yeah, I go through it. I go through it quite often. 1, because I want to, 2, because my finance officer is really asking me to
I was
update.
checking. That might be
Hi.
Oops.
So
Okay,
I try to master. I just can't. For something that bothers me to, and just the upfit on those cars is like $5,000 to $10,000.
yeah,
So to give some dealership a car for $1,200, it's going to cost me. I got to now buy other equipment. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I run them the way I do. Now with the construction, we're charging them the officer plus the insurance plus for the vehicle for the day. So if you look at that line, which goes back to the general fund, we're like budget like 36, we usually bring it over 100. So they're making money too.
Yeah.
But I want to stress, we will not put unsafe cars on.
Understood. Katie, had your hand up?
Casey would have sent you to the CIP,
It's all within budget, it's
And
just
it will-
moving it up.
and it will be reflected in the book
Correct.
this year.
Any other questions, chief, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Item 15, discuss the big action for the line item transfer the amount of $41,143 from the focus study engagement project balance and their commercial plan for the emergency management storage building project. Project is not to exceed $309,300. pending report of selecting approval. Can I get that motion, please? Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Can I get a second? Thank you, Jean. Nod the heads now. It's nice and easy. Discussion. You want to highlight this real?
Yeah, I mean, we actually did approve this Monday night, so this is for approval, so the board did approve this. This is a, what started as a storage shed during COVID in, summer of 21. It was one of the original ARPA projects to store PPE. We also had acquired some emergency management signs. There's a lot of emergency management storage needs. Since then, we got the emergency shelter grant, and the idea was we're gonna be needing to store like cots and things like that near Polson, because that's where the shelter's gonna move to in 2 years. So it got kind of shuffled over to there. Originally, this was gonna be the town garage, and it's now being added onto Bill McMinn's building there. So the footprint expanded a little bit just to adjust to that building. And then on top of that, the bids we just got back in post, Ukraine war with, we're up, steel, it's a steel frame building, those costs have gone up. So that's why we're over budget on this one than what we had originally anticipated. But we thought it's still an important project. The storage space is definitely new. And now we got a good plan because it will address the shelter needs also. And I know Sam's on, I think, and Bill.
Bill's on.
Oh, Bill's on, okay.
That's the question for Bill, actually. Is it, you recognize
I
me
did
and then you
recognize.
reneged.
No, I didn't.
Is, Bill, is this like, you saw it, Bill, didn't you? Is this similar to the shed that's outside the high school that we put up a few years ago? No,
I would say no. I mean, yes, it's the same material. This one's bigger, it's squarer, and it's attached to my building. The other one behind the school was a little smaller and sort of not as deep. It was like I would say closer to a shed. This is more of a garage.
gotcha.
Same material though, same type of material and same look.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. All right, we have to discuss and take action on round 17 of the ARPA funding request pending the board of selecting approval. The town facility building garage of $68,167.50.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, with a second. Thanks, Gene, second. Discuss and take action, town facilities building garage. You want to elaborate on this a little bit?
That's the same project, it's just we're taking some of the money from ARPA and some of it from the emergency shelter budget. So we used two
You want
different
to do
sources to make up the
We want
shortage.
two different motions.
Because one's coming from different funding sources.
Okay, any other discussion?
Simply, this is no cost to the town. We're getting a grant for that.
This is our money, correct?
Okay.
Government monies.
ARPA money is, and the 41,000 was money that had been budgeted for the
For
emergency.
emergency shelter.
Yeah.
So it's just taking it from different sources of funding. So it's not coming from fund balance or anything
Right.
like that.
Thanks. Any other comments?
Thank you.
John. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. Okay, we have discussed and take action to approve a special appropriation of $810,783 for town campus geothermal project pending board of selectmen. And town meeting approval. Can I get a motion for this, please?
So moved.
Haley, Gene, second. Discussion.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I just had concerns here. We're not putting, I kind of use the, we're not putting a brand new engine in the 30-year-old car, right? I mean,
No,
if we knew this was gonna cost us $2.4 million, when it was approved, we would have gone forward with it.
yes,
That's the shortest answer you're ever gonna get from Bill.
From Bill McMahon, that's about
I
it.
mean, this project, I will say the HVAC replacement here has been 10 years, CIP. And the town made a decision, I think it was back in 2019, that it wanted to pursue prior to when I came in, it wanted to do geothermal. And so we kind of started down that geothermal path. And then ARPA decided, the ARPA committee, that this was a good project to pull out of because it had to do with air quality, so qualified under those early qualifications for ARPA funding. It was very strict in the beginning, so we said, this is a perfect one for this, let's pay using ARPA funds. Obviously, since then, between the federal bill came out offering tax incentives, tax breaks to put in geothermal type projects. So although the budget is higher now because we've seen inflation in all these types of projects, we're gonna be getting 30% of the cost of the system back through rebates. So even though right now we are appropriating 810, we're gonna be getting back over $1 million over the next 18 to 24 months to cover that. So this is basically like, we're floating the project right now so that we have it fully funded. And that money will go back into fund balance. So I can let Blair talk a little bit more about the actual, if you want to get into the weeds, but the board wanted to be committed to staying with geothermal. And this is a priority project. Anybody that's spent any time in this building will know that there's a lot of problems with the system that's here and band-aiding. We almost had to do a $50,000 repair in the town clerk's office just to carry it through the summer. She said there were portable air conditioners and stuff all summer. And then when you're getting into the vault, which has all our town documents, you've got elections going on. So we're band-aiding this. And unfortunately, it's taken longer, I think, just because of the nature of this project and designing it. But it has to get done.
I think John's comment, which is want to make sure it was worthwhile. I'm not trying to put words in, you want to just do something and then, if you use your example about the, put the brand new engine in a 30-year vehicle, and then the vehicle is gone. But in this case, we're also getting sizable grant back to offset the cost. Go ahead, John.
My understanding is the ARPA funds could only be used for geothermal versus, I'll say, conventional. Is that?
No, ARPA, we can do.
I'm just trying to find out
Yeah.
what costs are we really saving? We are saving a percentage through the tax incentives, but we would get some of that.
Well, but the assessment of whether to do geothermal or conventional was done
Years ago.
years ago. So
Understood.
we paid consultants. We have a whole system design now based on the geothermal. And so that's out of, that's horses out of the gate. So now we're just trying to make sure that we have the funding in place so that we can get the tax incentives back later.
But
So,
those tax incentives are only available if this is
If we
geothermal.
do-
yeah, if it's geothermal, yeah.
Correct.
So is it safe to say that if we took the net cost of geothermal, it's less than if we went through a conventional,
No,
or we don't know?
no,
don't know.
no. A lot of times it ends up, geothermal is more expensive and then you put the net cost and then it gets it down to equal. So it's not necessarily that you're gonna be below what a conventional is, but you're getting the benefit of longer term energy savings and better, lower emissions, right? That's the goal, is to reduce emissions.
So to basically answer your question, you're not sure, could it cost the same, cost a little bit less?
Yeah, I mean, and actually Blair could probably talk to that. We've had so many, I'll be honest, with so many geothermal discussions and stuff.
Yeah, and the annual savings, I mean, back when we did the feasibility study, I think it was like 45,000 versus 18,000. Now, that was maybe 5 years ago, but there definitely was an advantage of doing this type of system versus a conventional.
I know Matt has a hand up to someone.
Yeah, I have a question for Bill, and please excuse me since I'm the newest guy here. Is this just for this particular building, or is this for all 3 buildings on this campus?
Just this building. And just for clarification, Blair is here. He's our expert. Felicia's running the project for us as a construction manager. So we're happy to get into more details, but I think Peggy gave an overview of exactly what the process was. And we started it way before 2019. We were probably in the 2015 or 17.
Blair, is there any anticipated, needs for the other 2 buildings?
That has not been investigated at this time. The town office was the primary focus for this project.
And before Blair got into the details with us on this specific building, we did look at the other buildings, and at that time, which was probably 5 years ago, it didn't make sense. The type of buildings they are, the distance away, it just didn't make sense to do the gym or the arts barn. Those are the only other two buildings that we considered.
Basically, guys, Matt.
Your building's good.
So,
Please build it.
say it again.
It's a newer building though.
It's a new building.
Yeah, that building is what,
Their building.
20? How old is the police building, Jack?
I think 2000 is what they.
Yeah, it's about 20.
2000, we opened that building in 2000. It was 23 years old.
It was a school originally, the town purchased in the early 90s.
And I don't want to hurt the chief's feeling right now, that's not on.
To anticipate
It's
costs.
not on teasing.
And the design of the system, the building that you're sitting in, is much different than the other buildings. So that's why it makes this one feasible and the other one's not practical.
Good. Okay.
When is the town meeting and when would construction begin?
The
The
town
town
meeting, sorry, is scheduled for the 29th of November. And we've had the contractor has pledged to keep his pricing, that the RFP was done over the summer, so he's willing to hold it till December 1st. Otherwise, then we're gonna see another escalation, if we don't get it approved.
And then construction would begin.
We haven't agreed to this winter, depending on how bad the winter is. We have to drill a lot of wells. We could start this winter, but ordering the equipment for the replacement, the interior equipment and the outside, pumps and stuff. I don't think that we'll see any construction inside the building until late spring.
The wells will go where?
The wells will go out.
Where?
The wells will go outside the building. If you're looking out the back, you go out the employees lounge area towards the right. There's a grassy knoll area on the other side of the cooling tower. If you know where the cooling tower, it's to the right of the cooling tower on a slope hill.
So it doesn't upset the fields at all?
No, it's gonna be in a grassy wooded area to the right of the cooling tower between our building and the arts barn.
Great, thank you.
Any other?
Just as a follow-up.
Go ahead, John.
Was the original amount somewhere in the $500,000 range when this first was put together?
Geothermal.
And
Well, so there was a $500 or $500,000.
I have the history of the funding, if you'd like me to go through that.
Because I remember that 500 was what was in CIP when I came into office, and that was like a placeholder number, and then that's when Bill said, but guess what? You're gonna need a lot more money than that, and that was 4 years ago. So you would know the details better, Bill, though.
June 2017, the project planning number was $578,149. And we did have a geo expert give us those analysis. Like I said, we probably started this in 2015, looking at this. And at that time, those were the numbers. Before we pulled the trigger and before we went forward with the project, even though we had the funding, I updated the estimate and updated the plan, and we were out of the water. It was 1.6 million. Then we hired an engineering firm, did the design, did an updated number, and the number was, basically 1.2 million, 2.2 million. And then when we bid it out and got a real number in this summer, you can see the costs, what they are right now. The numbers are just escalating for geothermal work. You never would have thought it in 2015 that it would be such a hot topic. We thought we were cutting edge and the demand wasn't there. The demand is there now. And there's not that many people that can do the work that well. The pumps, the wells, the price of the material has just gone crazy.
Well, there's a big demand because there's a bunch of federal money, incentivizing people to put these in, so.
Yeah, thank you, Peggy, for pointing that out, because that's 100%. Everyone's getting this money back. We're going to get over $1 million back, we believe. And that wasn't the case in 2017. We were going to get some money back, but not that much. So the prices have just increased significantly.
Thanks, Bill. We'll have a discussion offline about that first estimate, because that couldn't.
long time.
I'm happy to. I have the details and I know the guy that we hired. And there wasn't a lot of geo people and he was, and I believe was that expert and I still think he's doing it. I'm sure he's could analyze and tell us why the numbers are so bad, but they are.
Any other discussion?
One other question. Potential incentives, and I just heard Bill say, we believe we're gonna get, I mean, how strong is that we believe, and how strong do we think these incentives?
I can let Blair get into the details, but there's two incentives. One's the Eversource energy savings. He estimates between 200 and 250,000, 258 he actually had. And with the IRS one, it's between 860,000 and 900,000. Blair, can you explain any better than that?
Absolutely. So the utility incentives are prescriptive. It's just a basic application, and they give us dollars per ton of cooling equipment. So the total capacity of this new system is going to be a designed number of cooling tons, and the utility incentivizes that at a specific dollar per ton. And that's where we came up with the $200,000 to $250,000 prescriptive. It's a simple application. As long as we get a letter of agreement with the utility before the end of the year, we'll be locked into that dollar value. The heat pump incentives right now with Eversource are really good. After the first of the year, we would expect those might change. And we don't expect the heat pump incentives to get any better, specifically because of the federal incentive. So with the federal incentive, the Inflation Reduction Act, it gave tax exempt entities a mechanism for basically getting a tax credit or a tax rebate. The IRS has issued a workflow, recent workflow. We've seen quite a few projects go through the same process and successfully receive this funding from the federal government. It basically goes on the tax cycle. So typically September is the end of the fiscal year for public entities. We would expect to file sometime around September for this tax credit, and then you would see it from the IRS within 3 months.
And you're seeing, I know when we talked, I'm sorry,
Okay.
but in our
You're up to
meeting in
like
September.
$50.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not a member of the board.
That's
so
true,
I
you're
can have my own
clear,
rules.
you're clear.
But when he spoke to our board in September about this, but you said people are getting the checks, right? There's been they've been delivering on other projects?
Correct. Yes. And
It's like, it's happening, it's not like speculation. I think 6 months ago, we weren't quite sure, when we were talking about this with other projects, but it's like, no, it's happening, so.
I would say the question, 6 months ago was, who submits the paperwork? What documentation do they require? In September of this year, the IRS issued a pretty clear workflow for the submission of the tax incentive. So it's very clearly documented. There's a process in place. I mean, of course, it's a federal government. There's like 66 pages worth of workflow, but it's a very clear process. We know exactly what documentation is required. And quite frankly, there's a very low barrier to this incentive for municipalities. You don't file federal taxes, so it's a very, very simple filing. If it were a private entity where you had maybe a more complex tax entity or a tax situation, it would be different. For municipalities, we've seen it very simple, very straightforward. I want to say, in addition, we're going to be pursuing this same incentive for other projects within the town. So knowing that the process is going to be required for those other projects, this is going to be a learning experience for the town. And it's a much smaller dollar value. I mean, $1 million is a lot of money, but relative to the other projects, this is going to be a very good first run at this specific federal incentive.
So I just want to be clear on something, and Billy, you started with this. This has been in a plan for the CIP. This is not a surprise. It's not anything new. It was approved it worked through the process correctly. It started and in the first year of the CIP is moved through. And I think we really need to focus on the process being correct. I think the CIP vets these kinds of things. They go through the funding of it, where it's coming from. So this is not something that has been dropped on us. This is something that has been clearly defined since 2016 and has followed the process, and everyone has done their checks and balances. We hire colliers to come out, they're checking things with us. So I know it seems like a lot of money for people, but this is something we were prepared for. It's something we have the money for, and this is how it's supposed to work. And I want to make very clear that that's how it's supposed to work, and it did.
May I comment?
Yes,
Go ahead, Bill.
I agree with Gene 100%. Not only that, in 98 or 96, whenever we built this building or renovated it, we put a high efficiency system in at that time, and it lasted this long. It shouldn't have lasted this long, and we're sort of a little late on repairing and fixing it. It is costing us a lot of money, but I believe it's going to outlive the length of this one, because I think this system is going to be better than the one we put in. And we put in a very energy efficient, high-end system in this building in the first place. So I agree with Gene, and I think it is a lot of money, but I really think it's worth it.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Gene. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
thank you.
Stu?
Alicia, I saw you sneeze. God bless you.
So we have a review of the financials. I know you sent those out. Did anybody have any questions on financials? I know fund balance is sent out. I know Phil was out here, so. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay,
I have one,
go right ahead.
not necessarily on the fund balance, please fire away if you have one, but I did want to just back, quick comment on CIP.
Okay.
So we plan on our first meeting November 28th. So members, we're looking at, it's Tuesday at 6:30 in the evening. Last year we did all Zoom meetings. So the question for you all, if you want your input before we go to the CIP committee, are you looking for Zoom, hybrid, in person?
Can we leave it up to the committee once they get?
Yes, yeah. Are you okay with Zoom the first meeting?
Yes, I can tell you that, Jean, when we did, last year, CIP all Zoom, it was actually really helpful to have the, other, departments come in and do it via Zoom. It felt much more organized and clear, because they could, screen share their documents. It wasn't small print. It was, thank you. It was, I thought it worked really well, but I think it's fine to do our first one on Zoom and then wait.
Just want your input,
See what the rest
because it is an arm from the board of
I-
finance.
yeah. I would also love to discuss the Friday morning situation. I don't mind the morning meeting, but Fridays are gonna be.
We could talk about that at the committee.
Perfect. I'm just looking at the front lines.
Any questions on the financials or fund balance? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak? Second time.
No hands.
Go ahead, Peggy.
One thing we didn't mention, that Stacy and I are looking at a new budgeting software that's gonna present our budget in a much more transparent and easy to look at way. That will be rolled out, not during the budget process, but the final product, and we'll have it up and running. So we're excited. I know Stacy's very excited about this.
So
But I think it's gonna be great for the public to go in and find things more easily it'll be very interactive and just make things look a little better and, graphics and things like that. So that's gonna be.
My comments on the book, so
Yeah.
hopefully it works. Thank you, Peggy. Anything else? You sure?
Yeah.
Public information session, there was no one there, so that was the third time. Public information session is closed. If there's nothing else,
Motion to adjourn.
motion adjourned, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.